Opening shot. A vast, empty battlefield stretches to the horizon. Wind whispers across the ancient stones. A silent witness to history. Cut 2. A close-up of a weathered bronze sword half buried in the sand. Voiceover. War. It has shaped civilization since the dawn of time. Montage. Rapid cuts of ancient armies clashing in fierce combat. Spears thrust, shields shatter, and warriors fall in brutal chaos. Expert interview. Early warfare was about survival and dominance. Animation. The rise of organized warfare, from tribal skirmishes to formal armies. Scene. A phalanx of Greek hoplites advances in perfect formation, their shields locked together, forming an impenetrable wall of bronze. Cut 2. A Roman legion marches across a dusty road, their discipline unwavering. Voiceover. The Romans were masters of organization and logistics. Scene. Roman engineers construct a massive siege engine outside a city's walls. The catapult hurls a giant stone, smashing into the fortifications. Dramatic reenactment. A Roman soldier hesitates before killing a fallen enemy. Close-up. The soldier's face reflects the moral cost of war. Expert interview. These conflicts had a profound human impact. Animation. The spread of Roman power across Europe and the Mediterranean. Map. Highlighting key battles. Cannae, Alicia, Actium. Scene. Hannibal's elephants crossed the Alps. A logistical nightmare. Voiceover. Hannibal's invasion of Italy was a strategic masterpiece. Cut 2. Roman galleys engage in a naval battle. Arrows flying and ships ramming. Expert interview. Naval power was crucial for controlling trade routes. Scene. Julius Caesar addresses his troops before a major battle. His words inspire them to fight with courage and determination. Dramatic reenactment. The assassination of Julius Caesar in the Roman Senate. Voiceover. Political intrigue often fueled the flames of war. Animation. The Roman Empire at its height. A vast and powerful domain. Scene. Gladiators battle in the Colosseum. A spectacle of violence and entertainment. Expert interview. Gladiatorial combat reflected the Roman obsession with power. Cut 2. Barbarian tribes raid Roman settlements along the frontier. The Roman legions struggled to defend the vast empire. Voiceover. Internal decay and external pressures weakened the empire. Scene. A Roman city is sacked and burned by invading barbarians. The once proud empire crumbles into chaos and disarray. Expert interview. The fall of Rome marked the end of an era. Animation. The fragmentation of the Roman Empire into smaller kingdoms. Map. Showing the rise of new powers in Europe and the Middle East. Scene. A medieval knight prepares for battle, donning his armor. Voiceover. The medieval period brought new forms of warfare. Cut 2. A Viking longship approaches a coastal village, its sails billowing. The Vikings raid and pillage, leaving destruction in their wake. Expert interview. The Vikings were fierce warriors and skilled navigators. Animation. The spread of Christianity across Europe. Scene. A medieval castle stands as a symbol of power and defense. Voiceover. Castles provided protection against invaders. Cut 2. A siege of a castle with catapults and battering rams. The defenders pour boiling oil on the attackers below. Expert interview. Siege warfare was a common feature of the medieval period. Dramatic reenactment. Knights clash in a jousting tournament. The winner is celebrated as a hero, embodying chivalry and courage. Voiceover. The code of chivalry influenced medieval warfare. Animation. The Crusades. A series of religious wars in the Middle East. Scene. Christian knights battle Muslim warriors for control of Jerusalem. Expert interview. The Crusades had a lasting impact on relations between East and West. Map. Showing the routes of the Crusades and the territories involved. Cut 2. The Mongol Empire sweeping across Asia, conquering vast territories. Voiceover. The Mongols were masters of horseback warfare. Expert interview. Their military tactics were innovative and ruthless. The segment fades out, leaving the viewer anticipating the next chapter. The fall of Rome ushered in the medieval era, a time of fragmented kingdoms. Viking longships emerged from the mist, raiding coastal villages with ruthless efficiency. A lone Viking warrior raises his axe, silhouetted against the burning sky. Armored knights clash in a thunderous melee, the ground shaking with each impact. Close up on a knight's visor, reflecting the chaos of battle. A trebuchet hurls a massive stone towards a castle wall, creating a breach. Inside the castle, defenders brace for the inevitable assault. The Ottoman Empire rises, its armies expanding across continents. Ottoman cavalry charges across a vast plain, their scimitars glinting in the sun. A siege of Constantinople, cannons roar, and walls crumble under relentless fire. The introduction of gunpowder transforms warfare forever. Early cannons are crude but effective, changing the dynamics of siege warfare. Muskets replace bows and arrows, marking a shift in infantry tactics. The Renaissance sees the development of more sophisticated weaponry. Leonardo da Vinci's war machines showcase the ingenuity of the era. The age of exploration leads to global conflicts and colonial wars. European powers clash for dominance, their navies battling on the high seas. The rise of Napoleon Bonaparte reshapes the map of Europe. Napoleon's Grand Armée march across the continent, conquering all before it. The Battle of Austerlitz, a masterpiece of tactical brilliance. Napoleon surveys the battlefield, a figure of immense power and ambition. The Peninsular War, a bloody struggle against Spanish resistance. Guerrilla warfare emerges as a potent force against conventional armies. The disastrous invasion of Russia marks the beginning of Napoleon's downfall. The retreat from Moscow, a frozen wasteland of death and despair. The Battle of Waterloo, Napoleon's final defeat. The 19th century sees the rise of industrial warfare. Mass production of weapons leads to unprecedented levels of destruction. The American Civil War, a brutal conflict fought on American soil. Ironclad warships clash in a naval duel, signaling a new era of naval warfare. The Franco-Prussian War, a prelude to the global conflicts of the 20th century. World War I, the Great War, a conflict that engulfs the world. Trench warfare, a living hell of mud, blood, and barbed wire. Soldiers huddle in trenches, awaiting the next artillery barrage. Poison gas attacks, a terrifying new weapon of mass destruction. Aerial dogfights, pilots engage in deadly duels high above the trenches. The Battle of the Somme, a symbol of the futility of trench warfare. World War II, an even greater global conflict, fueled by ideology and aggression. The Blitz, London endures relentless bombing raids. The attack on Pearl Harbor, a surprise attack that brings America into the war. The Battle of Stalingrad, a turning point on the Eastern Front. The D-Day landings, Allied forces storm the beaches of Normandy. The Holocaust, the systematic genocide of millions of Jews and other minorities. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, a devastating end to the war. The Cold War, a nuclear standoff between the United States and the Soviet Union. Proxy wars are fought around the world, fueled by ideological conflict. The threat of nuclear annihilation hangs over the world. The Korean War, a bloody conflict that ends in a stalemate. The Vietnam War, a divisive conflict that ends in American withdrawal. The rise of terrorism, a new form of warfare in the 21st century. The September 11th attacks, a defining moment in modern history. The wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, long and costly conflicts. The use of drones and cyber warfare, new frontiers in modern warfare. The documentary reflects on the lessons learned from these influential wars. The importance of diplomacy and the pursuit of peace is emphasized. The human cost of war is a constant reminder of the need for conflict resolution. We must strive to learn from the mistakes of the past. The film concludes with a call for peace and understanding, a montage of images showing the devastation of war and the hope for peace. The pursuit of peace remains the most important battle of all.